Question 1. What is the historical significance of the year 1066? A. The signing of the Magna Carta. B. The establishment of the Royal Navy. C. The Norman conquest of England. D. The outbreak of the English Civil War. Answer. C. The Norman conquest of England. The year 1066 is historically significant due to the Norman conquest of England, which began with the Battle of Hastings. Question 2. Who signed the Magna Carta and in what year? A. King Henry VIII in 1534. B. King John in 1215. C. Queen Elizabeth I in 1588. D. King Edward I in 1297. Answer. B. King John in 1215. The Magna Carta, a Charter of Liberties, was signed by King John in 1215, limiting the king's power and establishing the rights of the nobility. Question 3. What was the main consequence of the English Civil War? A. The abolition of the monarchy. B. The execution of Charles I and the establishment of a commonwealth. C. The introduction of the parliamentary system. D. The signing of the Treaty of Paris. Answer. B. The execution of Charles I and the establishment of a commonwealth. The English Civil War led to the trial and execution of Charles I and the temporary establishment of a commonwealth. Question 4. Name the king associated with the Royal Navy's establishment. A. King Henry VIII. B. King Charles II. C. King Edward III. D. King George III. Answer. A. King Henry VIII. King Henry VIII is credited with the establishment of the Royal Navy, turning it into a powerful force during his reign. Question 5. What led to the Glorious Revolution in 1688? A. Religious conflicts and the desire for Protestant leadership. B. Economic crises and peasant revolts. C. The policies of Charles II. D. The death of Queen Elizabeth I. Answer. A. Religious conflicts and the desire for Protestant leadership. The Glorious Revolution was prompted by religious and political conflicts, leading to the ousting of James I in favor of Protestant leaders William and Mary. Question 6. What major legal document was established by the Glorious Revolution? A. The English Bill of Rights. B. The Act of Settlement. C. The Magna Carta. D. The Royal Charter. Answer. A. The English Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights, established in 1689, was a result of the Glorious Revolution and laid down limits on the powers of the Crown. Question 7. Who was the first Prime Minister of Great Britain? A. Robert Walpole. B. William Pitt the Younger. C. Winston Churchill. D. Benjamin Disraeli. Answer. A. Robert Walpole. Often regarded as the de facto first Prime Minister, Robert Walpole served in the early 18th century. Question 8. What was the main result of the Act of Union 1707? A. The creation of the United Kingdom by uniting England and Scotland. B. The establishment of the Bank of England. C. The end of the War of the Spanish Succession. D. The merger of the English and Irish Parliaments. Answer. A. The creation of the United Kingdom by uniting England and Scotland. The Act of Union 1707 unified the Parliaments of England and Scotland, forming the Kingdom of Great Britain. Question 9. Who was the British monarch during the American War of Independence? A. King George III. B. Queen Victoria. C. King Edward VII. D. King Henry VII. Answer A. King George III. King George III was the monarch during the American War of Independence, which lasted from 1775 to 1783. Question 10. What important agricultural development occurred during the 18th century agricultural revolution? A. The invention of the seed drill by Jethro Tull. B. The discovery of crop rotation. C. The introduction of the cotton gin. D. The use of steam-powered machinery. Answer A. The invention of the seed drill by Jethro Tull. Jethro Tull's seed drill, invented in 1701, significantly improved agricultural efficiency during the agricultural revolution. Question 11. What event triggered the Industrial Revolution in the late 18th century? A. The development of steam power. B. The signing of the Magna Carta. C. The discovery of the New World. D. The Glorious Revolution. Answer A. The development of steam power. The development of steam power and machinery in the late 18th century triggered the Industrial Revolution, transforming industries such as textiles and manufacturing. Question 12. Who invented the steam locomotive and when? A. James Watt in 1776. B. George Stephenson in 1825. C. Isambard Kingdom Brunel in 1835. D. Richard Trevithick in 1804. Answer D. Richard Trevithick in 1804. Richard Trevithick built the first full-scale working railway steam locomotive in 1804. Question 13. What landmark reform was achieved by the Reform Act of 1832? A. It granted voting rights to all men over the age of 21. B. It abolished slavery throughout the British Empire. C. It expanded the electorate and addressed representation issues. D. It established the National Health Service. Answer C. It expanded the electorate and addressed representation issues. The Reform Act of 1832 widened the voter base and addressed parliamentary representation, paving the way for further electoral reforms. Question 14. What was the significance of the Corn Laws in the 19th century? A. They introduced free trade policies. B. They imposed tariffs on imported grain. C. They ended the feudal system. D. They established the gold standard. Answer B. They imposed tariffs on imported grain. The Corn Laws were a series of statutes enacted between 1815 and 1846, which imposed restrictions and tariffs on imported grain, designed to keep grain prices high to favour domestic producers. Question 15. Who was Queen Victoria's husband, and what was his influence? A. Prince Albert, who promoted arts and sciences. B. King George VI, who led during World War II. C. Prince Philip, who founded the Duke of Edinburgh's Award. D. King Edward VII, who strengthened the Navy. Answer A. Prince Albert, who promoted arts and sciences. Prince Albert, Queen Victoria's consort, was influential in promoting the arts, education, science, and the Great Exhibition of 1851. Question 16. What was the purpose of the Public Health Act of 1848? A. To introduce health insurance. B. To establish regulations for sanitary conditions. C. To abolish workhouses. D. To provide free medical care. Answer B. To establish regulations for sanitary conditions. The Public Health Act of 1848 was one of the first measures to address public health issues, setting up local health boards and providing for the regulation of sanitary conditions. Question 17. What event led to the formation of the Metropolitan Police Service in 1829? A. The Peterloo Massacre. B. The Gordon Riots. C. The need to control increasing crime in London. D. The outbreak of the cholera epidemic. Answer. C. The need to control increasing crime in London. The Metropolitan Police Service was established in 1829 by Sir Robert Peel, largely in response to the growing crime rates in the rapidly expanding City of London. Question 18. How did the Great Exhibition of 1851 impact Britain's global image? A. It led to the decline of the British Empire. B. It showcased Britain as a leader in industrial technology. C. It triggered economic depression. D. It isolated Britain from European affairs. Answer. B. It showcased Britain as a leader in industrial technology. The Great Exhibition of 1851, held in the Crystal Palace, displayed Britain's advancements in industry and technology, enhancing its image as a global industrial leader. Question 19. What were the main goals of the Chartist movement in the 19th century? A. To advocate for women's suffrage. B. To demand political reforms including voting rights for all men. C. To oppose the Industrial Revolution. D. To support the abolition of the monarchy. Answer. B. To demand political reforms including voting rights for all men. The Chartist movement, active from 1838 to 1857, sought various political reforms, notably aiming to extend the right to vote to all men regardless of property ownership. Question 20. Which war was Florence Nightingale associated with? A. The Boer War. B. The Crimean War. C. World War I. D. The Napoleonic Wars. Answer. B. The Crimean War. Florence Nightingale is famously associated with her pioneering nursing work during the Crimean War, where she greatly improved the conditions and treatment of wounded soldiers. Question 21. Who was responsible for abolishing the slave trade in the British Empire? A. William Wilberforce. B. Oliver Cromwell. C. Winston Churchill. D. Elizabeth I. Answer. A. William Wilberforce. William Wilberforce was a key leader in the movement to abolish the slave trade in the British Empire, which was accomplished with the passage of the Slave Trade Act in 1807. Question 22. What was the main outcome of the 1867 Reform Act? A. It granted voting rights to all men and women over the age of 21. B. It extended the vote to working-class men. C. It abolished the monarchy. D. It ended the Industrial Revolution. Answer. B. It extended the vote to working-class men. The 1867 Reform Act significantly widened the voter base in Britain by extending voting rights to working-class men. Question 23. Describe the main impacts of the Irish potato famine. A. It led to significant immigration to America. B. It caused the Industrial Revolution. C. It resulted in agricultural reform. D. It started the English Civil War. Answer. A. It led to significant immigration to America. The Irish potato famine had devastating effects on Ireland, leading to mass starvation and a significant increase in emigration, particularly to America. Question 24. Who was the first female to sit in the British Parliament? A. Margaret Thatcher. B. Nancy Astor. C. Theresa May. D. Indira Gandhi. Answer. B. Nancy Astor. Nancy Astor was the first woman to sit as a Member of Parliament. MP in the British Parliament, taking her seat in 1919. Question 25. What was the primary goal of the suffragette movement? A. To improve education. B. To secure women's right to vote. C. To promote peace. D. To abolish taxes. Answer: B. To secure women's right to vote. The primary goal of the suffragette movement was to secure the right to vote for women, which was achieved gradually through various pieces of legislation. Question 26. Which British monarch reigned during World War I? A. King George V. B. Queen Elizabeth II. C. King Edward VII. D. Queen Victoria. Answer: A. King George V. King George V was the British monarch during World War I, which lasted from 1914 to 1918. Question 27. What was the Treaty of Versailles, and why was it significant for Britain? A. It ended World War I and imposed penalties on Germany. B. It started World War II. C. It was a trade agreement with the United States. D. It established the European Union. Answer: A. It ended World War I and imposed penalties on Germany. The Treaty of Versailles was significant for Britain as it formally ended World War I, imposing heavy reparations and territorial restrictions on Germany. Question 28. What economic event in 1929 had a profound impact on Britain? A. The signing of the Magna Carta. B. The start of the Industrial Revolution. C. The Great Depression. D. The establishment of the NHS. Answer: C. The Great Depression. The Great Depression, which began in 1929, had a severe impact on the global economy, including significant economic consequences in Britain. Question 29. Who led Britain during World War II? A. Neville Chamberlain. B. Winston Churchill. C. Margaret Thatcher. D. Tony Blair. Answer: B. Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill is famed for his leadership of Britain during World War II, especially during the critical years of the Nazi Blitz. Question 30. What was the main purpose of the Beveridge Report? A. To outline the foundations of the welfare state. B. To declare war on Germany. C. To promote free trade. D. To increase taxes. Answer: A. To outline the foundations of the welfare state. The Beveridge Report, published in 1942, proposed widespread reforms to address social welfare issues, laying the groundwork for the post-war welfare state. Question 31. What year was the National Health Service, NHS, established? A. 1948. B. 1955. C. 1967. D. 1973. Answer: A. 1948. The National Health Service, NHS, was established in 1948 to provide healthcare services funded by taxation to all UK citizens. Question 32. Who was the first British Prime Minister to serve under Queen Elizabeth II? A. Winston Churchill. B. Harold Wilson. C. Margaret Thatcher. D. John Major. Answer: A. Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill was the first Prime Minister to serve under Queen Elizabeth II after her ascension to the throne in 1952. Question 33. What crisis in 1956 significantly affected British foreign policy? A. The Falklands War. B. The Suez Crisis. C. Brexit. D. The Cold War. Answer: B. The Suez Crisis. The Suez Crisis in 1956 was a major international incident that significantly impacted British foreign policy and its standing as a world power. Question 34. What was the Wind of Change speech and who delivered it? A. A speech about decolonization delivered by Harold Macmillan. B. A speech promoting the European Union by Winston Churchill. C. A declaration of war by Neville Chamberlain. D. A peace treaty announcement by Margaret Thatcher. Answer. A. A speech about decolonization delivered by Harold Macmillan. The Wind of Change speech was delivered by Prime Minister Harold Macmillan in 1960, addressing the policy of decolonization and the independence of African territories. Question 35. When did the UK first apply to join the European Economic Community? A. 1963. B. 1957. C. 1973. D. 1985. Answer. A. 1963. The UK first applied to join the European Economic Community in 1963, but was initially vetoed by France. Question 36. What was the main result of the 1967 Sexual Offences Act? A. It decriminalised homosexual acts in private between two men over the age of 21. B. It legalised same-sex marriage. C. It outlawed discrimination based on sexual orientation. D. It allowed women to vote. Answer. A. It decriminalised homosexual acts in private between two men over the age of 21. The 1967 Sexual Offences Act was a landmark in the campaign for gay rights in Britain. Question 37. Who was the first British man in space? A. Tim Peake. B. Helen Sharman. C. Michael Foale. D. Piers Sellers. Answer. C. Michael Foale. While Helen Sharman was the first British person in space, Michael Foale was the first British man who flew with NASA. Question 38. What significant social reform did the Thatcher government implement in the 1980s? A. The introduction of the National Health Service. B. The privatization of major state-owned industries. C. The decriminalization of homosexuality. D. The abolition of the death penalty. Answer. B. The privatization of major state-owned industries. During the 1980s, Margaret Thatcher's government implemented significant social reforms, including the privatization of state-owned industries, such as British Telecom and British Gas. Question 39. Describe the main stipulations of the Good Friday Agreement. A. It was a peace agreement that ended the conflict in Northern Ireland. B. It established the European Union. C. It was an economic treaty with the USA. D. It created the Commonwealth. Answer. A. It was a peace agreement that ended the conflict in Northern Ireland. The Good Friday Agreement, signed in 1998, was a major political development aimed at ending the conflict and establishing a devolved government in Northern Ireland. Question 40. What year did the UK formally recognise civil partnerships? A. 2000. B. 2004. C. 2010. D. 2015. Answer. B. 2004. The UK formally recognised civil partnerships in 2004, allowing same-sex couples legal recognition of their relationships. Question 41. Who was the first British Prime Minister of the 21st century? A. Tony Blair. B. David Cameron. C. Gordon Brown. D. Theresa May. Answer A. Tony Blair. Tony Blair was the British Prime Minister as the 21st century began, having been in office since May 1997. Question 42. What event led to the London riots of 2011? A. Economic downturn. B. The assassination of a political leader. C. The shooting of Mark Duggan by police. D. A terrorist attack. Answer C. The shooting of Mark Duggan by police. The London riots in August 2011 were triggered by the police shooting of Mark Duggan in Tottenham. Question 43. What was the primary result of the 2014 Scottish referendum? A. Scotland became independent. B. Scotland chose to remain part of the United Kingdom. C. Scotland joined the European Union as an independent country. D. The dissolution of the United Kingdom. Answer B. Scotland chose to remain part of the United Kingdom. The 2014 Scottish referendum resulted in a majority voting against independence, thus remaining part of the UK. Question 44. Who was the first woman appointed as the Speaker of the House of Commons? A. Margaret Thatcher. B. Betty Boothroyd. C. Harriet Harman. D. Nancy Astor. Answer B. Betty Boothroyd. Betty Boothroyd was appointed as the first female Speaker of the House of Commons in 1992. Question 45. What was the main consequence of the Brexit referendum? A. The UK adopted the euro. B. The UK remained in the European Union. C. The UK decided to leave the European Union. D. The UK dissolved its parliament. Answer C. The UK decided to leave the European Union. The Brexit referendum of 2016 resulted in a majority vote to leave the EU, leading to significant political and economic changes. Question 46. Describe the historical importance of the Battle of Britain. A. It marked the beginning of the British Empire. B. It was a significant defeat for British forces. C. It was a crucial victory in the air that prevented a German invasion in World War II. D. It led to the end of World War II. Answer C. It was a crucial victory in the air that prevented a German invasion in World War II. The Battle of Britain in 1940 was a pivotal moment during World War II, where the Royal Air Force defended the UK against large-scale attacks by Nazi Germany's Air Force, the Luftwaffe. Question 47. What was the Black Death, and how did it affect Britain? A. A celebration after World War I. B. A famine in the 18th century. C. A bubonic plague pandemic that killed a large portion of Britain's population in the 14th century. D. An economic depression in the 19th century. Answer C. A bubonic plague pandemic that killed a large portion of Britain's population in the 14th century. The Black Death had a profound impact on Britain's society, economy, and landscape, leading to severe labour shortages and social changes. Question 48. Which monarch initiated the English Reformation and why? A. Elizabeth I to strengthen her rule. B. Henry VIII to divorce his wife and remarry. C. James I to merge Scotland and England. D. Charles II to promote religious freedom. Answer B. Henry VIII to divorce his wife and remarry. Henry VIII initiated the English Reformation in order to annul his marriage to Catherine of Aragon and marry Anne Boleyn, which led to the establishment of the Church of England, separate from the Roman Catholic Church. Question 49. What role did Britain play in the creation of the United Nations? A. It was the principal founding member. B. It hosted the initial meetings. C. It was opposed to its formation. D. It contributed financially but not politically. Answer: A. It was the principal founding member. Britain played a crucial role as one of the principal founding members of the United Nations in 1945, aiming to promote international peace and security. Question 50. Who discovered penicillin and what is its significance? A. Isaac Newton. B. Alexander Fleming. C. Charles Darwin. D. Stephen Hawking. Answer: B. Alexander Fleming. Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin in 1928, which marked the beginning of modern antibiotics and had a profound impact on medical treatments worldwide. Question 51. What economic condition was termed the Winter of Discontent? A. The economic boom of the 1980s. B. The period of financial prosperity in the 2000s. C. The series of strikes and labor unrest during the winter of 1978 to 1979. D. The recession in the early 1990s. Answer: C. The series of strikes and labor unrest during the winter of 1978 to 1979. The Winter of Discontent refers to the severe public sector strikes over pay which occurred during the winter of 1978 to 1979, severely affecting the UK's economy and public services. Question 52. Which British scientist contributed significantly to the discovery of DNA's structure? A. Rosalind Franklin. B. Isaac Newton. C. Stephen Hawking. D. Charles Darwin. Answer: A. Rosalind Franklin. Rosalind Franklin's work was crucial in understanding the structure of DNA, though her contributions were only widely recognized posthumously. Question 53. What landmark did the 2012 London Olympics achieve for Britain? A. It was the first time London hosted the Olympics. B. It marked the third time London hosted the Olympics, more than any other city. C. It was the last time the Olympics were held in Europe. D. It introduced cricket as an Olympic sport. Answer: B. It marked the third time London hosted the Olympics, more than any other city. The 2012 London Olympics marked London as the first city to have hosted the modern Summer Olympic Games 3 times. Question 54. What legal change did the 2013 Succession to the Crown Act bring about? A. It allowed for the monarch to be Catholic. B. It ended the system of male preference primogeniture. C. It limited the monarchy's power. D. It abolished the monarchy. Answer: B. It ended the system of male preference primogeniture. The 2013 Succession to the Crown Act replaced male preference primogeniture with absolute primogeniture, meaning the firstborn child of the monarch, regardless of sex, is next in line for the throne. Question 55. Which treaty ended Britain's colonial rule in India? A. The Treaty of Versailles. B. The Treaty of Paris. C. The Indian Independence Act. D. The Treaty of London. Answer: C. The Indian Independence Act. The Indian Independence Act in 1947 marked the end of British rule in India and the establishment of the independent nations of India and Pakistan. Question 56. What was Operation Pied Piper during World War II? A. A secret mission to assassinate Hitler. B. The evacuation of children from cities to the countryside. C. A code-breaking operation. D. A campaign in North Africa. Answer: B. The evacuation of children from cities to the countryside. Operation Pied Piper was the code name for the evacuation of children and other vulnerable people from cities to the countryside during World War II to protect them from bombing raids. Question 57. Who was involved in the gunpowder plot of 1605, and what was the goal? A. Oliver Cromwell, to restore the monarchy. B. Guy Fawkes, to blow up the Houses of Parliament. C. Winston Churchill, to gain political power. D. Richard II, to reclaim the throne. Answer: B. Guy Fawkes, to blow up the Houses of Parliament. The gunpowder plot of 1605 was an attempt by Guy Fawkes and other Catholic conspirators to blow up the Houses of Parliament and assassinate King James I, in order to end Protestant rule. Question 58. How did the Enclosure Acts impact British agriculture? A. They increased the use of agricultural machinery. B. They consolidated land, leading to more efficient farming. C. They banned the use of pesticides. D. They decreased crop yields significantly. Answer: B. They consolidated land, leading to more efficient farming. The Enclosure Acts, which were passed over several centuries, but most significantly in the 18th and 19th centuries, enclosed open fields and common land in the country, creating legal property rights to land that was previously considered common. Question 59. What role did Britain have in the establishment of the State of Israel? A. It led the military campaign to establish Israel. B. It opposed the creation of Israel. C. It administered the mandate for Palestine and endorsed the partition plan. D. It provided financial support only. Answer: C. It administered the mandate for Palestine and endorsed the partition plan. Britain played a significant role in the establishment of the State of Israel through its administration of the mandate for Palestine and its support of the UN partition plan in 1947. Question 60. What was the main purpose of the Elizabethan Poor Law? A. To create job opportunities. B. To provide pensions for the elderly. C. To establish the NHS. D. To assist the poor and establish a system for poor relief. Answer: D. To assist the poor and establish a system for poor relief. The Elizabethan Poor Law of 1601 established a national poor relief system in England, providing aid to the poor and laying the foundations for later social welfare measures. Question 61. Who were the Pankhursts and what did they achieve? A. A family that pioneered public health reforms. B. Leaders of the British suffragette movement who advocated for women's right to vote. C. Scientists who made significant contributions to nuclear physics. D. Authors of influential British literature in the 20th century. Answer: B. Leaders of the British suffragette movement who advocated for women's right to vote. The Pankhurst family, particularly Emmeline Pankhurst and her daughters, were central figures in the British suffragette movement, which successfully fought for women's suffrage in the UK. Question 62. What was the main objective of the British East India Company? A. To lead scientific expeditions in the East. B. To colonize the eastern part of the Americas. C. To act as the sovereign ruler of India. D. To pursue trade in the East Indies and assert British influence in India. Answer: D. To pursue trade in the East Indies and assert British influence in India. The British East India Company was initially chartered to trade in the East Indies, but ended up playing a crucial role in asserting British influence in India. Question 63. Describe the impact of the Suez Crisis on British foreign policy. A. It confirmed Britain's status as a global superpower. B. It led to an expansion of the British Empire in the Middle East. C. It marked the effective end of Britain's role as a global superpower. D. It significantly improved relations with the United States. Answer: C. It marked the effective end of Britain's role as a global superpower. The Suez Crisis of 1956 was a diplomatic and military embarrassment for Britain and highlighted its declining status on the world stage. Question 64. What was the significance of the Balfour Declaration? A. It supported the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. B. It declared war on Germany during World War I. C. It outlined the principles of free trade. D. It established the welfare state. Answer: A. It supported the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. The Balfour Declaration of 1917 was a public statement by Britain supporting the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine, then part of the Ottoman Empire. Question 65. What major social change occurred in Britain in the 1960s? A. The legalization of same-sex marriage. B. The decriminalization of homosexuality. C. The introduction of the euro. D. The abolition of the death penalty. Answer: B. The decriminalization of homosexuality. The 1960s in Britain saw significant social changes, including the 1967 Sexual Offences Act, which decriminalized homosexual acts in private between two men over the age of 21. Question 66. Who was the Iron Lady, and what were her policies? A. Queen Elizabeth I, known for her strict governance policies. B. Margaret Thatcher, known for her conservative policies and economic liberalism. C. Nancy Astor, the first female Member of Parliament. D. Angela Merkel, for her leadership in the European Union. Answer: B. Margaret Thatcher, known for her conservative policies and economic liberalism. Margaret Thatcher, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom from 1979 to 1990, was nicknamed the Iron Lady for her uncompromising politics and leadership style. Question 67. What were the main reasons for the 1984-85 miners' strike? A. Protest against wage reductions and deteriorating working conditions. B. Demand for higher wages and better health care. C. Resistance to pit closures and the defense of the coal industry. D. Support for nuclear energy development. Answer: C. Resistance to pit closures and the defense of the coal industry. The 1984-85 miners' strike was one of the most significant industrial actions in British history, sparked by the National Coal Board's proposal to close coal mines, which threatened jobs and communities. Question 68. How did the Battle of Waterloo affect British history? A. It led to the loss of the American colonies. B. It resulted in the end of the Napoleonic Wars and established British dominance in Europe. C. It started the Industrial Revolution. D. It was a devastating defeat that led to military reforms. Answer: B. It resulted in the end of the Napoleonic Wars and established British dominance in Europe. The Battle of Waterloo in 1815 was a decisive battle in which Napoleon Bonaparte was finally defeated, marking the end of the Napoleonic Wars and securing British influence in Europe. Question 69. What was the primary aim of the Marshall Plan in which Britain participated? A. To promote democracy in Eastern Europe. B. To rebuild European economies after World War II, including Britain's. C. To establish the United Nations. D. To initiate the European Union. Answer: B. To rebuild European economies after World War II, including Britain's. The Marshall Plan was an American initiative passed in 1948 to aid Western Europe, in which the United States gave over $12 billion in economic assistance to help rebuild Western European economies after the end of World War II. Question 70. Who was the main British figure in the abolition of the transatlantic slave trade? A. William Wilberforce. B. Oliver Cromwell. C. Winston Churchill. D. Thomas Clarkson. Answer. A. William Wilberforce. William Wilberforce was a prominent British politician and a leader of the movement to stop the slave trade, playing a key role in the passage of the Slave Trade Act of 1807, which abolished the transatlantic slave trade in the British Empire. Question 71. What was the impact of the Great Fire of London on urban development? A. It had little impact on London's architecture. B. It led to major rebuilding, including new designs from Christopher Wren. C. It discouraged further development in the city. D. It led to the immediate evacuation of the city. Answer. B. It led to major rebuilding, including new designs from Christopher Wren. The Great Fire of London in 1666 destroyed much of the city, leading to extensive rebuilding efforts that included new urban planning ideas and architectures, notably by Sir Christopher Wren. Question 72. What reforms did the Factory Acts bring in the 19th century? A. They abolished the use of child labour in factories. B. They introduced minimum wage laws. C. They regulated working conditions, including hours and safety for workers, especially children. D. They banned factory production entirely. Answer. C. They regulated working conditions, including hours and safety for workers, especially children. The series of Factory Acts passed in the 19th century were aimed at improving conditions for workers in factories, particularly for children and women, by regulating working hours and implementing safety measures. Question 73. What was the main effect of the UK's decimalisation in 1971? A. It shifted the economy from industrial to service-based. B. It changed the British currency system from pounds, shillings and pence to a decimal system based on pounds and pence. C. It led to the UK joining the European Union. D. It caused significant inflation. Answer. B. It changed the British currency system from pounds, shillings and pence to a decimal system based on pounds and pence. Decimalisation simplified the currency system and was a significant change in the British monetary system. Question 74. What significant law did the Murder, Abolition of Death Penalty Act 1965 establish? A. It abolished the death penalty for crimes of theft. B. It introduced the death penalty for all murder cases. C. It abolished the death penalty for murder, initially for an experimental period of 5 years. D. It legalized capital punishment after a hiatus. Answer. C. It abolished the death penalty for murder, initially for an experimental period of 5 years. The Murder, Abolition of Death Penalty Act 1965 suspended the death penalty for murder in England, Scotland and Wales, initially for 5 years, but was later made permanent. Question 75. Which British monarch was known for her golden speech? A. Queen Elizabeth I. B. Queen Victoria. C. Queen Mary. D. Queen Anne. Answer. A. Queen Elizabeth I. Queen Elizabeth I is known for her golden speech delivered in 1601 to the Parliament, reflecting on her reign and the love of her subjects as she approached the end of her life. Question 76. How did the 1979 winter of discontent affect British politics? A. It led to the strengthening of trade unions. B. It resulted in the election of Margaret Thatcher and significant political change towards conservative policies. C. It caused Britain to leave the European Economic Community. D. It triggered the end of the monarchy. Answer: B. It resulted in the election of Margaret Thatcher and significant political change towards conservative policies. The winter of discontent, characterized by widespread strikes and labour unrest, significantly impacted public opinion and helped bring Margaret Thatcher to power, marking a shift towards more conservative economic policies. Question 77. What was the primary significance of the Falklands War for the UK? A. It marked the beginning of the end of British colonialism. B. It resulted in significant territorial expansion. C. It reaffirmed Britain's naval capability and political resolve. D. It led to the UK losing its status as a world power. Answer: C. It reaffirmed Britain's naval capability and political resolve. The Falklands War in 1982 was significant for reaffirming Britain's willingness to defend its interests and maintaining its claim over the Falklands against Argentine aggression. Question 78. Describe the changes brought by the Railways Act 1993. A. It nationalised all British railways. B. It privatised the railways, introducing competition and private ownership into the rail transport market. C. It banned the construction of new railway lines. D. It merged all rail services under a single European operator. Answer: B. It privatised the railways, introducing competition and private ownership into the rail transport market. The Railways Act 1993 was a fundamental change in the operation of railways in Britain, marking the end of British Rail and the start of privatisation of train operations. Question 79. What was the main effect of the Human Rights Act 1998? A. It abolished all previous UK laws. B. It incorporated the European Convention on Human Rights into UK law, allowing citizens to bring human rights cases in domestic courts. C. It restricted freedom of speech. D. It established the European Union. Answer: B. It incorporated the European Convention on Human Rights into UK law, allowing citizens to bring human rights cases in domestic courts. The Human Rights Act 1998 was a significant legislative act that brought European human rights standards directly into UK law, greatly impacting how rights are protected in the UK. Question 80. Who was key in developing the welfare state concept post-World War II? A. Winston Churchill. B. Margaret Thatcher. C. Clement Attlee. D. Tony Blair. Answer: C. Clement Attlee. As Prime Minister after World War II, Clement Attlee was instrumental in establishing the welfare state in the UK, including the creation of the NHS and various social welfare programmes. Question 81. What major change occurred with the establishment of the Supreme Court in 2009? A. It replaced the House of Lords as the highest court in the United Kingdom. B. It abolished the judicial system in Scotland. C. It merged the legal systems of England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. D. It established the European Court of Justice. Answer: A. It replaced the House of Lords as the highest court in the United Kingdom. The establishment of the Supreme Court in 2009 marked a significant change in the UK's judicial system, separating the judicial and legislative functions of the House of Lords. Question 82. How did the Plaid Cymru influence Welsh politics? A. by promoting independence for Wales. B. By supporting the unification of Great Britain. C. By opposing devolution in Scotland. D. By campaigning against the European Union. Answer: A. By promoting independence for Wales. Plaid Cymru, the Welsh Nationalist Party, has been influential in Welsh politics primarily through its advocacy for Welsh independence and greater autonomy. Question 83. What was the impact of the British Nationality Act 1948? A. It restricted immigration from the former British Empire. B. It established the Commonwealth of Nations. C. It allowed citizens of the Commonwealth countries to have British citizenship. D. It created the European Union citizenship. Answer: C. It allowed citizens of the Commonwealth countries to have British citizenship. The British Nationality Act 1948 was significant in that it allowed citizens of Commonwealth countries to be considered British citizens, fostering a sense of unity and shared identity. Question 84. Who was responsible for the development of the jet engine? A. Frank Whittle. B. Alexander Fleming. C. Isaac Newton. D. Charles Darwin. Answer: A. Frank Whittle. Sir Frank Whittle was a key figure in the development of the jet engine, which revolutionized air travel and military aviation. Question 85. What was the main outcome of the Battle of Agincourt? A. It resulted in British defeat in the 100 Years' War. B. It was a pivotal victory for English forces during the 100 Years' War. C. It led to the establishment of the British Empire. D. It marked the end of British military engagements in Europe. Answer: B. It was a pivotal victory for English forces during the 100 Years' War. The Battle of Agincourt in 1415 is famous for its dramatic English victory, led by King Henry V against a numerically superior French army. Question 86. To describe the contributions of British scientists to the development of the computer. A. Alan Turing developed the concept of modern computing and artificial intelligence. B. Isaac Newton invented the first mechanical computer. C. Charles Babbage created the Internet. D. Stephen Hawking developed the first software program. Answer: A. Alan Turing developed the concept of modern computing and artificial intelligence. Alan Turing's work during and after World War II laid foundational concepts for computing and artificial intelligence, making significant contributions to the development of early computers. Question 87. What role did the UK have in the Treaty of Maastricht? A. It led the negotiations to form the European Union. B. It opted out of the social chapter and the Eurozone. C. It blocked the treaty. D. It was the only country to sign the treaty. Answer: B. It opted out of the social chapter and the Eurozone. The UK played a complex role in the Treaty of Maastricht, which established the European Union. It negotiated opt-outs from the social chapter and the single currency. Question 88. How did the 2008 financial crisis affect the UK? A. It had little impact on the UK's economy. B. It led to significant economic reforms and austerity measures. C. It improved the UK's standing in global markets. D. It prompted the UK to adopt the euro. Answer: B. It led to significant economic reforms and austerity measures. The 2008 global financial crisis had a profound impact on the UK, leading to economic downturns, significant government austerity measures, and debates about economic policy. Question 89. What is the significance of Stonehenge in British cultural history? A. It was a fortress used in medieval battles. B. It represents the pinnacle of engineering in the Roman Empire. C. It is a prehistoric monument believed to have been used for religious and ceremonial purposes. D. It was the site of the signing of the Magna Carta. Answer: C. It is a prehistoric monument believed to have been used for religious and ceremonial purposes. Stonehenge is one of the UK's most famous prehistoric monuments, noted for its complex structure and the mystery surrounding its original purpose and construction methods. Question 90. What led to the creation of the Magna Carta Libertatum, commonly called the Magna Carta? A. A desire to document the laws of the monarchy. B. The need to appease peasant revolts. C. Byron's demands for the king to respect their rights and liberties. D. The establishment of parliamentary democracy. Answer: C. Byron's demands for the king to respect their rights and liberties. The Magna Carta, signed in 1215, was primarily created due to the demands of rebellious barons who wanted to limit the powers of King John and safeguard their rights.